My name is Samantha Overton. I am 34 years old, and one cold afternoon in October, I stopped by my grandfather Walter's house without calling first. Before I could finish knocking, he pulled the door open. His face had gone pale. He grabbed my arm, pulled me inside, and whispered urgently, "Get inside. Hide now." Before I could ask what was happening, I heard tires crunch across the driveway. My mother's car had arrived. Grandpa quickly pushed me behind the narrow space beside the kitchen pantry. He wasn't panicking. He looked like a man who had been waiting for this moment. Seconds later, the front door opened. My mother's cheerful voice filled the house, followed by her husband Gerald and a woman I had never seen before. The woman placed a thick folder on the coffee table and calmly said, "Walter, we only need a few signatures today." Grandpa softly asked if anyone wanted tea, but no one answered. My mother smiled and said, "Dad, once you sign these papers, I'll be able to handle all your financial matters for you. It will make life much easier." Gerald added, "This house is too much for you now. We can sell it and move you into a wonderful assisted living community." Grandpa quietly asked, "What will happen to my garden?" No one answered him. Then my mother said the sentence that changed everything. "He won't remember any of this by Christmas anyway." My heart pounded. I wanted to step out and stop them, but I forced myself to stay hidden. Then I noticed something strange. While everyone believed Grandpa was confused, he was secretly writing notes on a small piece of paper hidden beside his chair. His hands were steady. His eyes were focused. In that moment, I realized something unbelievable. My grandfather wasn't losing his memory at all. He was pretending. And whatever game he was playing was far bigger than I had imagined. Little did I know, the truth he was about to reveal would destroy my family forever. The moment my mother's car disappeared down the driveway, my grandfather looked toward the kitchen and calmly said, "You can come out now, Sam." I stepped out, my legs shaking. Just seconds earlier he had looked like a confused old man. But now his eyes were sharp and clear. He closed the curtains, checked the front door, and sat across from me. "Everything you heard was real," he said quietly. "But there's one thing they don't know. I'm not confused. I've been pretending for months." I stared at him in disbelief. He explained that he had begun acting forgetful after noticing money disappearing from his bank account. Small withdrawals had been made every few weeks, and someone had secretly redirected his bank statements to my mother's address. Instead of confronting them immediately, he decided to play along. He wanted them to believe he was losing his memory so they would reveal their entire plan. Then he reached into his pocket and handed me a folded piece of paper. Written on it was the name of an elder law attorney and one shocking number: $18,000. "That's how much has already disappeared," he said. My stomach dropped. This wasn't just about a house anymore. Someone had already been stealing from him. Grandpa looked directly into my eyes and said, "If I had accused your mother without proof, you would have struggled to believe me. That's why I needed you to hear everything yourself." At that moment, every strange event from the past few months suddenly made sense. The missed phone calls, the redirected mail, the unusual bank activity, it was all connected. My grandfather wasn't asking me to rescue him. He was asking me to help expose the truth. I looked at him and made a promise I knew would change my life forever. "I won't let them take your home," I said. Grandpa smiled for the first time that day. "Then we don't have much time," he replied. "They're coming back soon. And next time they'll be ready." Neither of us realized that the real battle had only just begun, and the next move would decide everything. The very next morning, I contacted the elder law attorney whose name my grandfather had written down. She listened carefully and immediately understood the danger. She explained that if my grandfather signed the power of attorney, my mother would legally gain control of his finances, making it much harder to stop her. We had only a few days to act. Her advice was simple: prove that my grandfather was mentally competent before anyone could claim otherwise. I immediately arranged a full cognitive evaluation with a respected geriatric specialist. 2 days later, my grandfather completed every test with ease. The doctor smiled and officially confirmed that Walter was fully alert, mentally sharp, and completely capable of managing his own affairs. That single report destroyed the foundation of my mother's entire plan. After leaving the doctor's office, Grandpa handed me an old metal cookie tin that had belonged to my grandmother. "Open it when you're alone," he said. That evening, I carefully lifted the lid. Inside was a handwritten letter from my grandmother and the original family will. As I read through the documents, tears filled my eyes. My grandmother had never intended for the house to be sold. Her dream was for the property to one day fund a nursing scholarship in her name, helping young women become nurses just as she had always hoped. Suddenly everything became clear. My mother wasn't only trying to steal a house. She was about to destroy my grandmother's final wish. The next morning, I reported everything to Adult Protective Services, collected the bank records showing the missing $18,000, and gathered every document that proved someone had been manipulating my grandfather's finances. I organized every piece of evidence into a single folder because I knew emotions would never defeat lies, only facts would. Meanwhile, my mother called me pretending to be concerned about Grandpa's health, but I refused to reveal what I knew. Before ending the call, she casually mentioned that the entire family would gather for Grandpa's 80th birthday in just a few days. The moment she said those words, I understood exactly what she was planning. The birthday party wasn't a celebration at all. It was the perfect stage to pressure my grandfather into signing the documents in front of dozens of witnesses. They believed the party would guarantee their victory. They had no idea it was about to expose everything they had been hiding. The day of my grandfather's 80th birthday arrived, and the house was filled with family, friends, neighbors, and the local pastor. My mother welcomed everyone with a warm smile, pretending to be the perfect daughter. After the birthday song, she asked everyone to gather and announced that Grandpa's memory was failing. She said signing a financial power of attorney would protect him and invited him to sign the papers in front of everyone. Just as the pen was placed in his hand, I stepped forward. Before Grandpa signs anything, everyone deserves to know the truth, I said. I placed the doctor's evaluation on the table, proving he was mentally healthy and fully capable of making his own decisions. Then I revealed the bank records showing $18,000 had disappeared and explained that Adult Protective Services had already opened an investigation. The room fell silent. At that moment, my grandfather stood up and calmly said, "I never lost my memory. I only pretended so the truth would come out." His attorney arrived and confirmed that legal steps had already been taken to protect his finances and property. Gerald quietly left the house, and my mother's plan collapsed in front of everyone. My grandfather smiled and said, "Now that everything is settled, who wants some birthday cake?" In the weeks that followed, the stolen money was recovered. The fraudulent plan was stopped. My grandfather remained in his home, and my grandmother's dream of creating a nursing scholarship was finally protected. I learned one lesson I will never forget. Protecting the people who once protected you is never wrong, but staying silent while they are being exploited is.